Good afternoon. Our country, myself, we have the honor to have received our brother, the President of Djibouti, Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the delegation that has been here visiting with us. As you have seen, the signing underscoring the strength of our relationship, cooperation that we want to build on and carry that relationship even deeper and further. So we are happy to continue cooperating with our brothers and sisters from Djibouti to even strengthen the integration of our region, the Eastern African region, building on these different activities we're going to see happen and building on our relationship. So, President, I want to thank you for this gesture of visiting our country, knowing that there are many activities before you that you had to put aside and make this visit. And I'm looking forward to visiting your country in return in the nearest future. And of course, that doesn't mean that we would not like to see you back as soon as you can. But I think before that, I have to make sure that I reciprocate this very important and kind gesture. So on this note, President, I would invite you to make the remarks.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Et chers frères, je suis très heureux d'être parmi vous avec ma délégation et de faire cette visite officielle dans ce beau pays. Et nous sommes satisfaits des entretiens que nous avons eus depuis notre arrivée à Kigali, qui concernent tous les projets ou tous les sujets de coopération économique et technique. Et sur le plan politique, la convergence de nos positions en ce qui concerne les grands sujets actuels de l'Afrique. Nous sommes très heureux de pouvoir inviter notre frère, le président du Rwanda, à Djibouti. Et nous espérons pouvoir, nous y travaillons, consolider nos relations bilatérales. Sur cette note, nous sommes à votre disposition.
Merci beaucoup, Vos Excellences. With your permission, Your Excellencies, we would now like to open up the floor to take some questions from members of the press we have here, both local, regional, and international. If you're okay with that, sir, we can begin right away.
Yeah, they're okay.
Thank you. Could you please, members of the press, raise your hand if you have a question, and please state your name and the media house that you work for. Please start.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President of Rwanda. it is stated that there is also, just like there is a piece of land for Djibouti that has been allocated in Rwanda, we understand there is 20 hectares in Djibouti. And actually my question is how to make good use of that piece of land given the geographic challenges that traverse the African continent, the goodwill behind, of course, being understood, and how Rwandan businesses in particular can make good use of that given some of the challenges we even face with the nearer ports here. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, in a way, Djibouti has been steps ahead of us in many instances. The land we have allocated to Djibouti comes following the earlier allocation of that land to Rwanda by Djibouti. So they actually did that first, and we are only reciprocating this. And as to the exploitation, there are a number of ways. Mainly private sector will be doing that. Djibouti is very well located, along the Red Sea, and we look forward. We do a lot of trade, or there are activities that go through that area, and if we have that location developed, we will be served well in a number of ways, including the exploitation of that by having Rwandan goods arrive at that port, and even carried by air. If we develop a cargo aircraft that can carry our goods from there to here, that will shorten the time obviously, and with the benefits that come with that. But there are many other things that can be done there in cooperation with the Djibouti, with the areas around in the Gulf and other Arab countries and beyond, in actual fact. But we want the private sector to lead the effort, but the government will be a partner in this, as well as we work together between governments of Djibouti and our own, and also the private sectors from both sides. They will participate in that.
Let's take a second question, please. Madame Aïcha from Djibouti, please.
C'est Aïcha Abdillahi de la radio-télévision de Djibouti. Donc, Monsieur le Président de la République de Djibouti, vous venez de signer un accord de coopération avec la République de Rwanda. Alors, qu'est-ce que ce nouvel accord va apporter de plus par rapport aux accords précédents?
La coopération bilatérale entre nos deux pays sont très vastes. Là, est très vaste dans la mesure où ce sont des accords sectoriels. Mais il nous fallait un cadre réglementaire et un cadre général, n'est-ce pas, pour pouvoir élargir en cas de besoin. Mais c'est un accord cadre, celui que nous venons de signer. Et le deuxième que nous venons de signer aussi, c'est un mémoire d'entente ou Memorandum of Understanding entre l'autorité des ports des zones franches et l'autorité des zones économiques spéciales rwandaises.
Merci, monsieur. Stéphanie?
Yes.
Stéphanie Aglietti from AFP. If possible, I have one question per President, so two questions, if I'm allowed. President Guelleh, alors je vais parler en français. Selon l'accord cadre signé en 2014 avec l'opposition, l'État de Djibouti était censé réformer la commission électorale. Là, il y a la présidentielle qui commence, il n'y a pas eu de réforme. Est-ce que vous ne pensez pas que ça peut jeter un climat de suspicion sur les résultats d'élection ?
Vous avez déjà du préconçu, n'est-ce pas, en disant que l'accord cadre il n'y a pas eu de réforme, il n'y a pas eu d'accord cadre qui a été qui a été signé, mais les articles, pour nous, pour la partie djiboutienne, pour la partie gouvernementale, si vous voulez, nous estimons avoir rempli notre part du marché. C'est-à-dire, nous avons donné notre avis sur la commission électorale et nous avons aussi accepté toutes les autres conditions prises, demandées par l'opposition. Maintenant, si les deux acteurs sont sérieux et fiables, il ne doit pas y avoir de problème politique chez nous. Mais l'opposition est là, elle va présenter ses candidats et nous allons nous retrouver sur le terrain.
Good, but go ahead with another question. You said, she said,
Yes, she
the
has a
one
question.
for me.
Yes, a question for you also.
Thank you, Mr. President. Rwanda withdrew a declaration from the Protocol of the African Court of Human Rights in Arusha. This declaration allows individual and NGO to seize the court directly. This withdrawal happened like few days before the trial of Victoire Ingabire against the state of Rwanda. So what does mean this withdrawal? Does it mean that Rwanda has issue with Western justice, but some criticism to African justice too? What is the... Thank you.
Well, I think there are some details I'm not very conversant with. Those matters have been handled directly with our Attorney General, Minister of Justice, and the judicial side of things. But to my knowledge, the process started way back. In fact, it has been the intention for much longer than just this last time it was done. And it has nothing more to do with the problems of doubt as to the court itself. It is based on the process itself. It's not the court that it would not make good decisions, but it's always the process of bypassing other institutions that actually exist that should handle that and give what not only is unnecessary but a process that undermines the institutions we are building so that the matters go through other channels other than where they should be going, which in fact, allowing that to happen puts into question the other institutions instead that exist that should be handling the matter rather than we, by withdrawing, putting doubts on the other side. So what you are saying, that is the possibility that there is doubt about the courts, whether at international justice level or this regional one, is not the case. It's the other way around. What puts the jurisdiction in those hands puts doubt and undermines the institutions and the processes we have put in place to deal with that. So it's the other way around. But on the other hand, I don't want us to simplistically say, oh, we have doubts about the international courts now, this one. That leaves out the actual reasons one would even have doubts on international courts. Because if you are going to have international courts, if we talk about that adjudicate matters relating to some people and not others, and instead those others in the international system actually control the courts and use the courts to deal with matters in what is even political in as far as it gives them advantage, then there is going to be doubt about that. And so the doubts about the international justice system is not just a random thing. It has this basis. And if you bring it out like that and bring in Ngabire, bring in what you have done here, it's like you are doubting why people have questioned the international justice system. So, but I have just posed one question to you that you need to think about. International justice system is supposed to serve everybody, meaning it should serve those in the international system, the powerful countries or groups, as well as it should serve the others who are less powerful and those of us. But if you have it lopsided and it only deals with one side and not the other, and it is obvious, some of these things are very obvious, I don't see why people would not understand that, then it is trivialized when it is a very serious matter.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think now we'll just maybe take one more question from somebody. Let's have Albert.
Albert Simulgua from Contact Media. Comme je sais que le président Kagame comprend assez bien le français aussi et qu'il peut être aidé, je me permets de vous poser, mais la question va pour les deux présidents. Vous avez démontré une vision de vouloir intégrer et de collaborer dans cette région de l'Afrique de l'Est. Il y a certainement certains facteurs qu'il faut considérer. Un, il y a une distance quand même géographique qu'il faut surpasser. Donc concrètement, je sais qu'il y a beaucoup d'investissements, beaucoup de vision dans les nouvelles technologies pour bridger ce problème. Concrètement, est-ce que vous avez des voies que vous voulez explorer? Deuxièmement, vous vivez tous les deux dans un environnement qui quand même montre certaines hostilités à cette intégration. Il y a quand même des signes qui voient qu'on va plus vers une division plutôt qu'une intégration. Est-ce que là-dessus vous avez échangé? Est-ce que vous avez peut-être des plans qui peuvent nous montrer comment vous allez aussi surpasser ce problème-là? Merci.
Je laisse la primauté au président ou c'est moi qui commence? Vous savez, la politique d'intégration économique de l'Afrique est une idée, un plan et une vision. Nous pensons que les obstacles sont extrêmement difficiles, mais la décision de surpasser et d'intégrer économiquement d'abord nos économies et nos pays et nos peuples est une décision dont nous travaillons et une vision dont nous travaillons depuis longtemps. Depuis la création du COMESA, nous faisons petit à petit les intégrations dans nos pays. L'Afrique australe et orientales doivent absolument intégrer. Nous savons qu'il y a des forces qui ne sont pas... Et nous avons longuement discuté avec le président Kagame de la possibilité d'intégrer dans les différents domaines de la technologie de l'information, des routes, des chemins de fer, et des liens, d'innover, si vous voulez, un certain nombre de problèmes et économiquement se rapprocher de cette vision d'intégration économique que nous avons mis en place.
Yes. I think the President has really covered most of the ground on that question. Relations, integration, people seeking to collaborate, much as the principles are very good, really in terms of understanding the concepts, there is no question. But you'll always find some obstacles in the process of implementation. So I think we've got the thinking right, and we've got the processes right, but which we'll always find, for one reason or another, some obstacles that may delay. I think largely there is a delaying of processes, or things to happen, but it won't impede that implementation or ultimately arriving at the goals we have set for ourselves. But through cooperation and understanding like this we create between Rwanda and Djibouti, and as we have done in other instances, Djibouti working with other countries in the region and Rwanda working with others, and all of us together, even in a much wider context of our African continent, progress is made. So the only thing is, how fast can we move? Progress is made. We want to be faster in making this progress. Sometimes there is going to be this slowing down because of things that are even not purely between African countries, that things that even come from the outside of the continent. But it's about managing what we have to deal with and trying to push as hard as we can to make good progress as fast as we can. But I think there is no question that we are thinking in the right direction and acting in the right direction, and progress will continue to be made. You talked about technologies. There are different kinds of technologies that are going to happen, are going to help us in the implementation, around which we shall also cooperate. Is trade, investments with each other and in each other. So I think overall the environment is ripe and good. We just have to keep moving.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, I think with that last question, we may bring this press conference to an end. I would like to thank you both very much for your time. Monsieur le Président et vos membres de votre délégation, nous vous souhaitons au revoir. Merci.
Merci.
Good.